This episode is brought to you by StoryWorth. Give your loved ones the gift of spending time together wherever you live with StoryWorth. Visit storyworth.com/gems. You'll get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/gems for $10 off. Welcome, my friend, to Genealogy Gems podcast episode number 248. I am Lisa Louise Cooke, and today we're going to talk about something that I think that we can all get excited about. Free stuff. Specifically, free stuff for genealogy and family history. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to follow the path of least resistance to find what you need for your genealogy research. And then we're going to dig into the best ways to find free genealogy records online. We'll also cover what you need to know about the genealogy industry that's going to help you save money. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can beeline your way straight to the free records that can be found online at each of the big subscription genealogy websites without even a paid subscription. But you got to know where to look. We are talking about Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. I've also got not one, but two Google search secrets that can help you locate free genealogy resources in other locations. And since not everything is online, we're going to talk about how to search online to find free records offline. And then we'll wrap it all up with kind of a clever way to get free help with your genealogy brick wall. Now, this topic and this audio comes from the YouTube video series Elevenses with Lisa. It's episode 21. And you can find all the free Elevenses with Lisa videos in the show notes at genealogygems.com/elevenses. And of course, if you are a Genealogy Gems premium member, and I hope that you are and that you've joined our family, you have exclusive access to the 5-page downloadable show notes handout, as well as all of the earlier episodes that have already been archived. To find the archived episodes, just log into your membership at genealogygems.com, and under Premium in the menu, go to Premium Videos and then click on Elevenses with Lisa. And of course, this is Genealogy Gems podcast episode number 248. And you will find this episode at genealogygems.com. And under podcast, click Genealogy Gems podcast and click on episode 248. That will link you out to everything else that you need. So my goodness, there's a lot of free stuff to find and items to cover. So let's jump right into it. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and I know we have a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds in genealogy and family history. You might be brand new, you might have been doing this for a while, or you might be at it for a long time. But the truth is, this stuff is changing constantly, so it never hurts to go back over it and talk about what's new, talk about the kinds of stuff that you can find. And this topic came to mind actually because I was thinking about a presentation that I did at the Ohio Genealogical Society a couple of years ago. It was a luncheon keynote that I was doing. What I was talking about in that presentation, and I actually called it my iceberg presentation. And I remember when I lived in California, I think it was the California State Genealogical Society that came out with this poster. And they were talking about genealogy research. And the big thing when the internet kind of really took hold with genealogy and there was so much out there, it became very chic to say, no, it's not all online. Of course, nobody said it was all online. But the truth is, there is a ton of stuff online. And there's a lot of great information to help you get offline. So when we look at this, I mean, even the waters around this iceberg that they put out, I don't know, this was 8 years ago or so, 10 years ago, that water has receded. There's a lot more online. So certainly not everything is online, but today, we're having to be adaptable in terms of doing most everything we're doing online when it comes to genealogy. And I just want to encourage you that there is just so much more that you can do and that you can find. the internet. Okay, well, that's gotten bigger. Let's talk about how it's gotten bigger. So one of the things that I'm a big advocate of, and if you have my How to Find Your Family History in Newspapers book, you've read my whole philosophy on this, which is it's perfectly okay to say, I want to go the path of least resistance. I mean, why would we want to pay for information that's available for free somewhere else? Or a record. We want to save as much time and as much money as we can so that we can get more, right? And we can find more. And when we save resources in one area, we're able to apply those resources in another area. So it's all good. Okay, so we're going to storm this iceberg of genealogical records. It's massive. And keep in mind that, of course, while not everything is online, I really believe that every search starts online. And the reason for that is that there's a lot of duplication of where things are. And there's also a lot of information that you can gain before you go offline, before you get in your car and you go to a library or an archive. There's a lot of information that you can glean before you get there to make the most of your research time. And in fact, maybe if you're not able to access the archive or library that you need to, this is a great time to do some planning. And you can do a lot of that prep work online. So we'll be talking more and more about this today. Let's look at the iceberg. More is exposed every day. And I love stats, but I tell you, it's getting harder and harder to keep up with most current stats. But I can tell you, 90% of the information that's on the internet right now was created since 2016. Is that a mind blower? I mean, that's a lot of information. And of course, it's in a huge number of areas, but certainly it applies to genealogy, family history, and everything that's related to that. So considering that, that iceberg has gotten bigger, but the water is getting lower because nowadays when somebody has new information, they'll tend to put it online first. So since 2017, 3.8 billion internet users. That was a 42% increase over just 3 years prior. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people contributing to the iceberg. So people, businesses, devices are data factories. Everything's a data factory. Everything is generating new data, pumping vast amounts of information onto the internet. So that's why it's just more important than ever to really hone your research skills and get the most from your efforts online. I think of the path of how I want to spend my time and my money in kind of a couple of different categories. There's really about 4 of them. So the first one, of course, if I can, I want to get what I'm looking for free, and I want to get it online. That's easy. That's convenient. It's faster, right? The second kind of tier down might be, well, it'd be worth an online subscription to something because they have the information that I need, and I still have this huge amount of time I'm saving because I'm doing it from home. So that's another step down. Next, we're getting a little bit under the waterline, and we're talking about online research that you can do for free and local offline. So what I mean for that is that there's the material itself, the information itself, is somewhere locally offline. Could be at the local family history library, could be at your public library or the local university, an archive. But you can do some online research for free before you go to make the most of that visit. Our last step would be, if all else fails, we may have to go somewhere else, distant, right? Might be to Washington, D.C., to the DAR, might have to be to New England, to Boston. So distant and offline, again, all that searching starts online. And the more we do that prep work, we actually discover that there is even more maybe online for free than we thought that maybe we can do first. And that's all great prep. So, we're all going to stay very optimistic that we've got some wonderful genealogy travels ahead of us in the future. And so we want to make the most of them and get ready for them. For today, let's focus on free and online. Some of the key sites that you're going to be looking at, of course, FamilySearch. If you are new to FamilySearch, and I know so many of you guys are very experienced, If you're not new to genealogy, this probably just sounds like, oh, well, everybody knows about FamilySearch. But if you're like me and you're speaking to people all over the place, you talk to all beginners to very advanced. And many people go a long time before they even realize or find out that FamilySearch is available. So FamilySearch.org, of course, is put together and produced by the LDS Church, has everything available for free. You sign in with a free account. You don't want to miss that. The other thing you can use for free and online is Google. And we did talk about Google in a past episode. You know, Google is the portal. It's going to be the vehicle to get you to anything else on any other website that might be available for free online. We'll talk more about that. I've got some tricks for you on that too. I want to get WorldCat on your radar. If by chance it's not, WorldCat.org has 17,900 libraries around the world that are members of this organization. And that's 123 different countries, at least when I checked last night. Think of it like the International Free Online Library Catalog. Okay, so if you're really looking for something and you need to figure out where it is, that's the place to go, and that's a free resource. And of course, there's lots of different niche sources that you could use. There's digital archives, Archive Grid, Happy Trust. I love Internet Archive. Internet Archive is really, it's a volunteer kind of organization, a nonprofit that wants to try to archive everything that's gone on online, which makes sense because more is happening online practically than anywhere else. So they are really capturing every web page, and they're also digitizing materials, digitizing a lot of materials, books and manuals and audio and video. So we have lots of fabulous stuff to work with right there. You could spend lots of time just working in these particular areas, and we're going to get into some of them specifically. But let's talk about these genealogy giants. There's kind of the big four, right? There's FamilySearch, Ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past. FamilySearch is the one that stands out as the one that's completely free. So it's the perfect place to start. Look at some of the stats to convince you to spend time at FamilySearch. Last I checked, and goodness knows this number constantly changes, at least 8 billion names in historical records. So it's vast. Keep in mind, 2 billion or more are just browse only. And that number, of course, fluctuates depending on how quickly they're indexing, how quickly they're digitizing. If we're talking in the billions, there's a ton of records that are digitized, but they're not indexed yet. So they're available for free, but they may not be coming up in your search results. So we have to remember that there's a lot more than just what comes up in the search engine. Because if it's not indexed, it can't pop up. So when we say browse only, and I've written about this quite a bit on my blog at genealogygems.com, browse only is where you do the old legwork. It's pretend you're sitting at a microfilm reader and you're sitting there and you're browsing through the record. It's identifying the record that you need and then taking the time to really go through it. And my friends, they have, they're closing in on 400,000 digital books. If you were just to put together Google Books, Internet Archive, and FamilySearch, you're well probably approaching 30 million books. I mean, it's massive. So 372,000 free books at FamilySearch is fantastic. Millions of these are searchable only from the catalog. So again, what that means is if you use their search fields and you're looking for stuff, you're going to get results, but you are not getting results from all the materials that they have. In order to get a hold of many of the books, to get the browse-only stuff, you're going to need to go into their card catalog. I did a webinar not too long ago with MyHeritage about their collections catalog and talking about that. That's where you go to really figure out what all the collections are. Ancestry has a card catalog as well. We talked about that in the past. So you got to use that catalog because that's the piece that you're missing if you're only using the search field. One thing I want to point out to you, you might not have noticed this at FamilySearch. So when you're searching for all these free records, for records that are not digitized, of course, we use the catalog, and you're going to notice that even if they don't have it, or maybe They have it, but it's not available to you online. You have to be at the Family History Library in Salt Lake City. There's lots of different restrictions on different records. Take a look and check and see if this globe icon shows up. That's an indicator because FamilySearch is partnering with WorldCat. It's an indicator that this might be available through the WorldCat catalog. So it says, view this record in WorldCat for other possible copy locations. What you're going to find is that location could be really close to you, and it might be open. You never know. So don't miss the globe, because the globe is your little key that if you're not able to get your hands on it at FamilySearch for free right now from home, you can click that and see where else it might be. And sometimes it's an online website as well. So it could be. Once you get to that item, you're going to find a copy online. So that would be your first goal, right? You're hoping you can get this right here from home. And you'll click that link. If not, if they don't have the online version, then we're going to go down just a little bit further to find a copy in a library. Now, there may be a lot of libraries listed there. You'd be amazed how many materials are available in so many different locations. Oftentimes in locations that have nothing to do with the location that the material is about. Like this book could be the county history of Sibley County, Minnesota, but it's held in South Carolina as well, in some archive or a library. So what you do is go in and put your zip code in that field, enter your location. I just do my zip code. It will take that long list, hopefully there's a long list, and it will resort it to make the top listing the one that is closest to you. And it will even tell you how many miles away you'll have to go to get there. And it's also going to be linked. So that online research that you do before you go, you can click the link and you can get in touch with that location, and you can say, hey, do you have it? Do you interlibrary loan it? Don't forget your interlibrary loan. If your local library happens to be open and available to you, that's a great option. So talk to them. Find out how they can work with you, and they may not be able to interlibrary loan it, but they know somebody who does, or they have some other information that you don't already know. So I love WorldCat. It's just your go-to all the time. Before I spend money, I always go to WorldCat and just double check. Is this somewhere else? It's a great place to look. Another great place to look is the FamilySearch Wiki. That is another site and offering of FamilySearch that I think goes under the radar a bit. And you might have heard of it, but how often do you really take advantage of it? If you're not that familiar with the wiki, what this is it's articles. Think of it like Wikipedia, but it's Wikipedia for genealogy. Okay, so it's familysearch.org/wiki. Last I checked, 93,577 articles. Here's the beauty of it. Most of these articles are written by those consultant experts that work at the Family History Library in Salt Lake City. So they know their stuff. They really know their stuff. And they're constantly updating this information. It's worldwide. And believe me, the wiki is a resource for everybody worldwide. If we go here to the FamilySearch Wiki, you get the map. I think the map is the easiest thing because we're really trying to zero in on location. I'm going to click on Europe, and I'm going to click Germany and try to zero down. It's kind of organized a bit like the US Gen Web website, where it's by location based. And what they're going to do is they're going to give you the rundown on the history, which records are available, how the borders have changed, what maps are available. Look at this. Ask the community, that little button. If you click that, you're going to be talking to experts in this area. Isn't that awesome? I mean, these consultants really will answer your questions, even if you're not physically at the Family History Library. And they're going to have links to all the known resources. And this is not just FamilySearch. They want you to find what you're looking for, and they constantly keep these up. Add links. You're going to be able to see what's online and what's not. Let's go back to that homepage map, and I want to go to North America. And I'm looking, so for United States, we see Canada, we see the Caribbean. Okay, so I'm going to go to Wisconsin. You remember I've been doing my Irish research and my Lynch family from Wisconsin. So I'm going to click through to Wisconsin. Do they have anything on Polk County? Now, Polk County was the county they lived in Farmington. Look at this map. Okay, so here's all your counties. Just click the county. This is just one fabulous summary page of information about everything that they know about for this county. And lots of links to lots of free resources. So the wiki is absolutely free, and the sources that they get to, they might link you to something that has a subscription site, but at least you know it's available. And typically, they're going to lean towards things that are available for free versus the paid sites. Here's a little tip too. Even if you are a seasoned FamilySearch Wiki user, make sure you're signed into an account. And you might see that there is an account available and you're thinking, well, I don't need that. I'm just looking at the web pages. But I think you do need it. Because if you sign into the free account, you can watch pages. So think about when I was talking about the stats of how quickly things are changing, how much information is coming online. And they are updating these articles. So if you find one, I'm working on McAlpin County where my grandmother was born in Illinois. I'm going to watch that page because I want to be alerted if new information gets added. So maybe FamilySearch has a whole new collection they've just indexed and they finish it up and they link it on here. I'd love to know about it. Watch list. Now I've clicked it. I've said I'm watching this, and it says you're going to get email notifications. They're enabled. Pages that have been changed since you last visited are shown. So you're not going to get inundated with this page every day in an email. You're only going to get an email if there is something that is new or updated. So it's a really nice way if you are working in an area and you need to find out what the latest and greatest is. You don't want to spend time going there every day and typing in the URL. You want it to come to you. That's what I look for, is any opportunity I can to pull that information to me rather than me having to go out and chase it. Because, it's easy to drop that ball, right? Next, deep diving into Google. Google's going to take you to all those websites that are out there with free stuff. Is it still the site you should be using? I know we've been hearing a lot about Google in the news. Well, the truth is, back in 2017, when I first did this talk, 3.8 billion internet users, of course, were out there, and they were running over 5.2 billion searches a day. So that's just a ton of activity. Uploaded 4 million hours of content just to YouTube. Talk about YouTube all the time in my book, how you can find family history related videos. That volume, that's other people's home movies. I've been uploading stuff. That's newsreels. That's all kinds of history documentaries. I mean, it's just really amazing. And they posted immeasurable content to websites. So Google is going to be the vehicle to find out how we find it. If you missed it, I hope you go check out episode 13 of Elevenses with Lisa. We talked about how to get better Google searches. And you might be thinking as I'm talking about Google, oh, well, if I do that, I'm going to have millions of results. That doesn't sound like a good use of my time. Well, you can make a huge difference. In that episode, we talked about the fact that you can really get nearly a 90% reduction in unwanted search results, as well as a much more quality results page. There's obviously multiple pages, but you really want page 1, page 2 to just be full of the kinds of stuff you want. This is your episode. I have this new landing page for you. So if you go to genealogygems.com under Elevenses with Lisa, okay? So you're watching here. This is the page to go to. All the episodes are there, and you want to click number 13, and that will take you where you can watch it on my website. Also, all the notes, everything we talked about for every episode is on each of these pages. There you can also comment. I hope you will. Let me know what your questions are, what you like about the show, what you'd like to hear about in the future, anything that you want to comment. We love hearing from you there. So everything is there. And of course, premium members from my website can download that entire webpage, all the show notes as a handout. So go check out that Google episode if you haven't watched it already. There's more free stuff to find, and we will do that right after this. If you're looking for a way to stay close to your family and give a gift that has lasting meaning, do what I do. Give them a chance to tell their story and share memories using StoryWorth. You'll be helping them record their history, which is such an important part of your family's history, and they'll appreciate that you're interested and that you care. StoryWorth is an online service that helps your loved ones share stories through thought-provoking questions about their memories and their personal thoughts. It's really a fun way to engage with your family, especially those that you're not able to see in person this year. Every week, StoryWorth emails your family member a new story prompt, questions that you've never thought to ask, like, what's a small decision that you made that ended up having a big impact on your life? And if you could see into the future, what would you want to find out? And you get to read the stories as they're written each week. It's really fun, and it makes your family feel close, even if you're not together. I gave StoryWorth to my dad, and I love hearing stories that just never came up in conversation before. He added a few current photographs, but I have all the old family photos. It was so much fun to add them to help illustrate his story even further. We really both loved seeing it all come together. After 1 year, StoryWorth compiles all these stories into a beautiful keepsake book that's shipped for free. So give your loved ones the gift of spending time together, wherever you live, with StoryWorth. Get started right away with no shipping required by going to storyworth.com/gems. There you're going to get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/gems for $10 off. storyworth.com/gems. All right, it's time to head back and find more free genealogy stuff. I want to show you a tip from my book. I have a whole chapter on Google Alerts. Remember, we're talking about we want to get this free stuff pulled to us. We don't want to have to go chasing after it all the time. Once you watch that episode, and I know many of you have already seen it, but if you're new to the channel, you haven't, so go check it out. Once you do that and you start running your searches, you can set up a Google alert, okay? That's going to help you. It's going to take an existing search that you've run, and it's going to continue to run it for you for free without you doing anything. I mean, talk about saving time and saving money. It's like having a personal genealogy research assistant. That sounds good. I could use one of those. So it's running it 24/7. Again, like the watch list over at FamilySearch, it's going to assume that you've run this search, which you have, and it's going to say, okay, well, now we're only going to send her an email when we find stuff that matches her search query that's either brand new or it's been updated. So maybe it's a genealogy website I've looked at, but it's been updated. I want to hear about it. Okay, let me tell you a little story how this works and why it's so powerful. So this is my great-grandmother, Louise Nikolowski, and she was one of the first people I saw in an old family photo album at my grandmother's house when I was 8. And my grandmother really didn't even know for sure what her maiden name was. She was saying Mikolowski. It was actually Nikolowski. And I loved my grandmother dearly. And so from childhood, I thought, I really want to help her. I want to get answers. I want to be able to tell her more about this family. And I was intrigued myself. So over the years, I've been doing my research. I always tell everybody, I started with all my stuff in a Ked shoebox, and then I had it in a paper box, and now it's like a whole room in my house, but okay. I wanted to see, are there records for the village? I found her village in her naturalization paperwork, Klein-Geruuten. And so I did some research on gazetteers online, found out it was in Kreis-Ortelsburg in East Prussia. So this is putting together what we did in episode 13. I put the quotation marks around Klein-Geruuten to say, this is the parish name, and I want it exactly the way I'm spelling it, and I want it to be Klein and Geruuten. So it can't just be Klein up here on the page and Geruuten down here. You've seen those kinds of results? I want them together. Then I put the county, essentially it's the county, Kreis-Ortelsburg, but I didn't put it in quotes because I didn't know if that for sure would be on the web page that talks about Klein-Gerufen. If it's talking about Klein-Gerufen, I want to see it. But if it's got Kreis-Ortelsburg, even better. And church records. I was hoping to find some church records and find the church where she was baptized. And then I put a numbering search, 1870 ... 1900. So what I'm doing is I'm giving Google a number search, and I'm saying every web page that you send me back in my search results has to have a 4-digit number that falls in this range, right? So this is great because it's going to talk about the 19th century. I ran that search and I clicked the images result, and immediately I'm looking at a postcard of the church. It's breathtaking sometimes at how quickly it just becomes available to you, and you're looking at things that you only hope to find. I went back to the web search and I found this website. This woman had been researching the church records of that village for about 30 years. She'd been going to the family history library. She had been transcribing everything into Excel spreadsheets, and she had them available for free to download. I'm not making this up, my friends. I was amazed. I started downloading all the spreadsheets. And of course, being in spreadsheets, thank you for doing that because they're so searchable. Within a couple of hours, I'm back 3 generations because I'm finding she's got all the witnesses. She's got all the names. It's all searchable. I mean, it was amazing. So, I did my genealogy happy dance, and I'm fighting back the tears, and I go to look because I want to send her an email, and I want to thank her for putting this up there. It was amazing that she shared it. And down where it has who she is and her contact information, there's a date. This is when she uploaded the Excel spreadsheets. It was 2.5 weeks before I had searched for it. So what if I'd searched for it 3 weeks prior? They would not have been up there, and I never would have found them. That's because the internet, any search you run on the internet is just a snapshot in time, right? It's like a living, breathing thing. And 10 minutes from now, somebody uploads that one thing you were waiting for, and you've moved on. You're not doing that anymore. And goodness knows when you're going to get back to running that search again. Google Alerts is going to say, okay, I know you searched for this. And 2 weeks later, found something that came up after you searched for it. And it sends you an email, and it gives you the link, and it says, is this what you want? Can you appreciate the power of that? That's unbelievable. So when you work so hard to put a really nice query together, like we talk about in episode 13, copy that query out of the search box, go paste it in Google Alerts, and set it up to run, and it will email you if it finds something. If you do nothing else after this show today, I hope you do that, because it's like searching the web for ancestors while you're sleeping. You get up in the morning and it's like Christmas. You have emails that show you the new and updated items that it has found. So Google Alerts is going to help you really make hay out of those queries that you work hard on and that are really what you're looking for. So searching before you pay. Before we spend our money, we need to do some online work, okay? Because here's the truth. Partnerships can mean the same record is available through multiple sites, both free and paid. You've seen this probably if you read blogs of any of the big genealogy websites. Ancestry will partner with FamilySearch. FamilySearch partners with a lot of companies. They have a lot of manpower and free volunteers. And so these large companies get these databases, or they get these records, and they need help indexing. So they'll partner together, but the agreement is we're going to share these records in different ways. Maybe you get the index and we get a copy of your images, or vice versa. So that means duplication. I have no problem with spending money. I have been spending money on Irish genealogy websites lately after my consultation, but I have no problem doing that, but I don't want to do that if I'm going after something that's actually duplicated and maybe it's available for free somewhere else. So we want to do some searching. Once you find a collection or a record, see if it's available for free. Just do a quick search before you go and plunk your money down. And you can use google.com to do that, do maybe search the name of the collection, search some of those important keywords. You're going to check FamilySearch because FamilySearch is partnering with so many of these organizations. And also you're going to check WorldCat because that's the world's library card catalog, right? So you're going to check and see, do they have this book? Do they have this collection? Because they've got more than just books. They've got newspaper collections. They've got all kinds of stuff. We are going to search at Ancestry. And I'm searching for Cooke. Okay, so I get this record, and it's John T. Egan, Rooms for J. Cooke House. So if I don't have a current Ancestry subscription, I want to see, is the directory that came from anywhere else online? So I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to do city directory and with an asterisk in between. Remember, we talked about the asterisk in episode 13. And Seattle, in quotes. And I get search results pages. I clicked more, and yes, there are books. So we're going to just look at the books in the results, nothing else. Click Tools, and now you have another menu you can pull from. Under any books, we're going to go to free Google eBooks. I only want to see the free books that are at Google Books because they have a lot of books that are not free. And here's a city directory. So I click it, get that thumbnail view, look at all the pictures. Does it have this J. Cooke? We're going to go down and search this particular directory for the name Cooke. Exactly the same result that I got in Ancestry, but it's available for free at Google Books. So what we did there was take a look at the source information, those details. We covered details in our Ancestry episode, and we're going to search for those using Google. And sometimes just filtering down to a Google Books search is worth doing because it gets a lot of those other websites out of your way. If I want this, I can still clip it. There's a little scissors button. Click that and you can make a screenshot and just get a clipping of this particular part of the book. It's going to have an image link. I'm going to copy the image link for my clipping. I'm going to go into a new tab and just paste it so I can see my clipping. Now I can right-click on it and save it to my hard drive. You know how we can save records out of Ancestry? You can absolutely save records out of Google Books. So I'm going to save that to my hard drive. I know. There's a lot of tips and tricks I've got for you, my friends, and this is stuff that I talk about in the Google Books chapter in my book, The Toolbox. And if you're a premium member, there is a whole class on Google Books, so check that out. Okay, online subscription. So let's say you really do need to kind of expand out. Whatever it is you're looking for, maybe initially you thought wasn't available for free. Okay, well, the big names in historical records, over 10 billion records over at Ancestry, 9.4 at MyHeritage, Find My Past, which of course is specializes particularly in the UK, but does have records from other locations as well for sure. And of course, niche sites like, Fold3 and newspapers.com, Genealogy Bank. Okay, all of these require a subscription. So if you're looking to save money, if you don't have the money right now to do a subscription, you might be not spending time on these. You might be only over at FamilySearch. You might be only using Google. But I want to show you that there is a lot of free stuff at these websites. So, Ancestry.com. If you don't have a subscription, you can go straight to their free collections. And my friends, there's a lot of them. So I've made this tiny URL for you. It makes it really easy because it's a long URL. tinyurl.com/Lisa Ancestry. And it is an affiliate link. If by chance later you become a member, we do get compensated. It doesn't cost you a dime, but that's what helps make this show available for free. So we so much appreciate that you use our links. But this link is also extremely convenient because it's going to get you to this page buried on the Ancestry website. Let's go there. So if you go and do tinyurl.com/Lisa Ancestry, it's going to take you to this page. And you'll see there's records. Now, the search field pops in there. So you have the same wonderful search field that you always have on Ancestry. Scroll down. All those little green buttons mean this stuff is free. It's either a free index, it's a free collection, and there's a lot of it. Who knew there was so much free stuff at Ancestry.com? So you can go through here, and I like using that Control F or Command F and do a little find on the page if I'm looking for particular, keywords, Minnesota or, Australia, whatever I'm looking for. You can also use the search field. And this search field, what's special about this is it's searching just this free index of collections, that stuff that's free. So have fun with that. There's absolutely free stuff on all of these big genealogy websites. And that includes MyHeritage. So let's take a look at how you do that. It's a little bit different over at MyHeritage. Each one is different. If you go to tinyurl.com/LisaMyHeritage, that will also take you over there. Click historical records. I do that from the very bottom. Sometimes the free stuff moves around a little bit. But if you run an initial search, you'll also be looking for those little green tabs that say free. So initially you look and go, oh, well, that's all the paid subscription stuff. But scroll down and you'll start to see these free buttons. And those are collections and indexes that are available for free. So you don't have to have a membership. You do have to have a free account for any of these websites in order to get in there and look at even the free collections. But it's a free account, so that's cool. And Find My Past. Yes, absolutely. So you can go to findmypast.com/free. On this page, you're going to be able to scroll down and it groups the free collections by different categories. So check out all the stuff at Find My Past. I spend a lot of time over there with Bill's family research. All right, stay right there because right after this, I have another search operator trick for you. Today's episode is sponsored by MyHeritage, a global discovery platform enjoyed by 110 million people worldwide. MyHeritage has it all and offers a full-service experience that bridges your past, present, and future. The MyHeritage DNA Kit reveals your ethnic origins and finds your new relatives based on shared DNA. It's popular all over the world, and their constantly growing DNA database means that more matches to new relatives are just around the corner. You'll receive a percentage breakdown of your ethnic origins from 42 supported regions and weekly email updates as new DNA matches are found. It's also the leading DNA service for anyone with European origins. Make the most of your DNA results with a MyHeritage subscription and access advanced tools for genetic genealogy, like the theory of family relativity, autoclusters, shared ancestral places, and much more. Order your kit today at myheritage.com/DNA. Already taken a DNA test with another service? Upload your DNA data to MyHeritage for free to receive DNA matches and access new discoveries. That's myheritage.com/DNA. Do you have old home movies that are in lots of different formats? I had that problem. I had 8mm, I had VHS, I had high 8. I mean, who knew there were so many different types of movies? Well, put them all in a box and ship them to Larson Digital. They are going to be able to convert them for you, get them all into a usable MP4 digital format, as well as they can send you the DVDs of your home movies. I did this with everything that I have, and I'm telling you, I am so happy that I did. They're so much more shareable, and the family is loving watching them. I trust Larson Digital, and they did a great job. I know they will for you as well. Visit larsondigital.com/Lisa to get the best discounts that are currently available. And Larson is LARSEN, larson.com/Lisa. All right, back to the show and more free stuff. Here's another search operator trick. Okay, now we talked about the search operators in episode 13. We talked about quotation marks and the asterisk, but we did not do this one. And I don't teach this one very often because it's a lot to take in to do all these different operators, but it's the site search operator. Okay, so operators is a way to talk to Google, talk its language, using your query words, the keywords that you're focused on. And in this case, what we're doing is we're telling Google, I want to search for this, but I only want to search for it at one particular website. Now, if you've ever been to a website that doesn't have a search field, this is the perfect solution. Or if it has a search field, but you feel like, I'm not really finding what I'm looking for. And that happens a lot. Every website has a different kind of search, and it's not always as powerful, certainly, as Google's search engine. So we're using the Google search engine to search just one site. Here's how this works. I'm going to go to google.com and type in the word free. And then I'm going to leave a space and do site : and I'm going to say ancestry.com. I'm telling Google, go and give me only search results from the ancestry.com website that talk about free. And you'll notice that probably one of the first or second items, you'll get one that's just free collections. They also have free worksheets and forms that you can download. So any stuff that they're talking about that's free is going to pop up in that search results, and it's going to get you to this page very quickly. So that kind of shows you how that works. Let's do that at Find My Past, okay? So free space, site : Find My Past. Don't put a space between the colon and findmypast.com. We have to have the .com. And now our search results come from that website and give us the free stuff. It's awesome. So if you have been working with a website and you feel like that search engine is really lacking, it's just not giving you what you want, or worse yet, they don't even have a search engine, this site search is your key. It's the answer to finding all the great stuff, and add the word free and you're going to find the free stuff. Do you have to have a Find My Past account to access the free stuff? I believe you do. I think on all of these, they probably require you to have the free account, and then you'll be able to at least access it. They just want to know who's on there and who's accessing the stuff on the site. Okay, so free and local. Public libraries, 119,000 last I checked, according to the American Library Association in the U.S. Universities, 5,300 at least in the U.S., according to the Washington Post. Now, universities have fantastic libraries, and that's just in the U.S., so you can imagine worldwide, wherever you are, that university has probably a wonderful library. And many times they have not only unique sources, but they also have, of course, freely available, and they usually will have access to some of these subscription websites that are free as well. Same thing with public libraries. Of course, archives, you can go there, you can access things for free. Family history centers, so there are family history centers all over the world, and this stuff could be in your own backyard. So we know that we're going to probably have to go there in person, but we can do our research before we go. And of course, your Genealogy Society is a specialty type of organization, but they're going to have information as well, or Historical Society. To find out what's local and what's free, again, search with WorldCat, get in there and put your zip code in, let it sort and filter according to where you're located. Use google.com, of course, and it'll map it out for you and everything. I have a link here, familysearch.org/locations. When our family history library, the family history affiliates open back up, and I think many are closed right now. But as they do, this is the way to find them in your own backyard, or if you're going to be traveling somewhere, you could find out where the local one is there as well. It's a really nifty interactive map that they have available. And Google Earth Pro. I love Google Earth. They don't even call it Pro anymore. The Pro is now the free version. Absolutely free software. Always use the software, guys. Don't use the app. The Chrome version is nice, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles. You got to use the software, the downloadable software. I love going in there. I'll search for local archive, museum, genealogical society, family history center. It'll just plot them out. And if I'm already in Google Earth and I'm plotting out where ancestors lived, where they went to school, all this stuff that I'm working on, doing my family history tours, you might as well search for it right there to see what the local resources are in that area where you're researching. Again, tons of stuff that you can do ahead of time. And check their websites before you go. Nowadays, it's just make sure they're open, right? But also, get in touch with them and ask them, can I access this from home? Many people don't realize you can often obtain library cards. Sometimes you have to go in person. Sometimes you can do it online. Nowadays, with all of our, restrictions on movement and many of these places are closed, they're loosening their restrictions in terms of access and library cards. So get in touch with them and find out. Go check their website. They may have, hey, for now, everybody can sign up and get access, or databases that may have been only available at the local level where you have to go in there in person. They have all these databases that normally you pay for and they're free, but you could access them for free when you visit. Well, now that you may not be able to visit, sometimes their website will alert you. You can do this from home now for this temporary time. So check that. Check all that good stuff, and you will have so much more success. And the distant ones, maybe we're not traveling so much right now, but these are certainly well worth being on our radar. I love the Allen County Public Library. And let me tell you, my friends, that library in Fort Wayne, Indiana has tons of free stuff too. I wish we had hours. If we had hours, we could do so much. But go check out their website. They've got free stuff, and I love their Instagram account. I'm on Instagram. I hope if you're even thought about Instagram, come check me out, because I put a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff and tips and tricks on there, and Allen County does too. So do your homework. That's the mantra there, is to do your homework before you go. And some search strategies, of course, is ask about the library card, check their online catalog, and of course, head over to WorldCat to get the last word on all that. And there are Facebook groups. So if you're looking for free stuff, I've actually had some great success in some of these Facebook groups. We've featured some here on the show before. Facebook is free. You can look at the random acts of genealogical kindness. Do a search for RAOGK. These are folks, and you can see thousands of folks who love genealogy, and they will help you if they can. So sometimes it's just that somebody else has that book that you don't have. It could be that they have access to a local archive or repository that they'd be happy to go in and do a lookup for you. So check with them, ask questions. Genealogists, nicest people on the planet. They'll help you if they can. So that's how you storm the iceberg, and most importantly, how you find all the good free stuff. And you know, like I said, limitless possibilities here. But I hope that you heard something that you hadn't heard before and you can start using, because it's nice to save money. Please go and take advantage of the show notes. I am going to have everything written out for you. And if you're a premium member, you can download it. That's just a little perk and a thank you for being a wonderful premium member of my website, Genealogy Gems. All this stuff and the how-tos and the links, everything will be there for you. Thanks so much for joining me for Genealogy Gems podcast episode number 248. You have a lot of great free stuff to find. And of course you can find, but the first thing to find is the show notes for this episode. So go to genealogygems.com, and in the menu under podcast, click on Genealogy Gems podcast. And then everything is there, starting with the most recent episode. Click the link. This is episode 248. And of course, the very best way to stay in touch with me and everything that's going on here at Genealogy Gems and the Elevenses with Lisa YouTube show is through our free newsletter. So at our homepage at genealogygems.com, you'll find a red button right up there at the top, and it says sign up for the free newsletter. That's what you need. It comes out each week, lets you know what's coming up and what's recently been published, and there's links to everything for you. It's the very best way to keep in touch with everything going on here at Genealogy Gems. And particularly if you're a premium member, be sure and get signed up for the free newsletter, because you're not going to want to miss all the great content coming out for you guys exclusively. And speaking of premium membership, if you're looking for a last-minute gift this Christmas of 2020, gosh, the year is almost over, why not a premium membership? Maybe somebody who is crazy about you is going crazy trying to find something to get you. Let them know you'd like a premium membership. There is a link for that on the home page and also on the premium membership page. And also, if you've got a friend who loves genealogy or a family member that you're trying to foster a love of genealogy in, premium membership is a wonderful way to go to support them all year long. You can learn more about that over at the website. Go to genealogygems.com/premium-gift, and I'll have a link for that in the show notes. as we close out what's been a pretty challenging year of 2020. God bless you and your family, and thank you so much for listening, friend. I'll talk to you soon.